9 times out of 10, I don't use desks in home offices or studios. I use 6-person dining tables, which can be awkward because most people think about wire management, where you're gonna put your cords, etc. But nowadays, most people work from their laptops, and that's just a matter of having something that can fasten the cord down the leg on the side of the table. The other thing is, I like having all of this space to just sprawl things out. So I'm a huge fan of, if you have the space, or even if you don't have a lot of space, like if you're in New York City and you're in a really small apartment, a dining table does double the work. So it can work for sitting around with people and eating, or using it for a workspace. Some of the other things that I love to do, as you can see around this table right here, is I like to group things to make them not look like messes. One of my favorite terms, when I first started styling photo shoots behind the scenes for magazines years ago, there was a stylist who had this term called necessary uglies. And what that means is all these things that you have, that you take out of your pockets when you get home, that you have to have, like they're just part of your life. It could be a wallet, it could be cords, it could be earbuds. So when you have vessels and trays to put stuff in, you can take all your necessary uglies and out of nowhere, they go from just being clutter that would be all over the place and being, messy, to having some type of structure. And I know it's kind of hard to convey, just holding stuff on top of a table, but containing it inside of another vessel just makes it look a lot more concrete and it gives it purpose. So what I've done here is we usually like to stack books, and we think of a pyramid. So you start with the biggest book on the bottom and you go to the smallest book on the top. It creates this beautiful shape back and forth. The other thing is anything looks more organized in a tray. So if all these things that I need on a daily basis to work as a designer are just sprawled out, it looks like clutter. But by putting all these different things inside of something perfectly rectilinear, which is the really rigid rectangular look of the tray, it just presents it in a beautiful manner. The other thing about using a dining table instead of an actual desk in a workspace is, if you happen to be somebody who works by yourself and you just need one chair, that's great, because you've got all this room with, if all the chairs go away, you can circumnavigate around, you can use the space underneath to stack more magazines or books, etc. The other thing is, if people want to be super price conscious and you're not going to be formally dining in your dining room on a day-to-day basis, you don't necessarily need 6 chairs, or you don't have the budget for 6 chairs. 6 chairs. I love not having the same chair around a dining table. So this could be an example of somebody who lives in an apartment and might have chairs randomly in different rooms that are used to stack books on, etc. Just gather them together. The trick to making disparate chairs look intentional and not like an afterthought is you want to mix the materials. So if you look over here, we've got leather and we've got metal. Over here, we've got raw wood. Over here, we've got a woven seagrass. Here, we've got an upholstered slipcover. Here, we've got more ebonized wood, and here we have more of an oak. So if it looks like everything is gathered over time, it looks like you collected it rather than looking mismatched. So that's kind of the way that with Mind for Design, I think about how to make a space look beautiful, how to make it be one of a kind, but also how to spend your money kind of once. So you can buy several things and use them in different rooms and mix them up as much as you want, but you don't have to stick to one particular thing.